Hello, today we're going to look at the economic assumptions. Now, economics is a social science, which means, as any science does, we have assumptions because there are so many different variables, and we have to look at the fact that, we can't just have it being so open. So we put down some kind of fundamental assumptions that everything else is then built upon, which is, again, why there are flaws or why there are certain scenarios that don't always happen. So, for example, the first one is rationality. We assume that all humans are rational, which is not necessarily the case. For example, if I knew that, carrots were cheaper in a different supermarket 20 miles away from my home, I should go and get those carrots. But I may not do that because of convenience or because if I'm lazy, or if there's a product that is better, I might not buy it because of habit and things like that. So humans are not always rational. The second assumption is that consumers or buyers, they look to maximize benefit. So they want the best quality at the cheapest price, in essence. So we always assume that if the quality is the same, consumers would go for the cheapest priced option. Again, this plays into the rationality aspect where that may not always be true, because suddenly, people buy expensive things because they think the price reflects the quality. Not always true. The third assumption is that businesses look to maximize profit. So they want to sell the cheapest good at the highest price. Now, that again is not always true. Certain businesses try and, maximize community over profit. So they'll look to help the community. Like the shoe brand Tom's, who are famous for donating a pair of shoes for each pair bought by someone. They could very easily increase their profit by not donating the shoes, because that's an additional cost to them. Some companies may look to just survive, especially when you're a new company and you're looking to just enter the market. You're looking to survive, not maximize profit. Certain organizations may look to grow and expand, which can involve a lot of costs and actually lower profit margins. So there are ways in which this may or may not happen. So if we look at, where these assumptions break down, let's look at the consumers first. So they may have imperfect information. So, for example, if they're looking to maximize their benefit, they may actually not know that carrots are cheaper somewhere else, or they may not know that there is a product that has better quality at the same price, or they may not have the information there. They may have calculation errors, which is why maths is very, very important. So please, do stick at it, even though algebra may not always be your best friend. But people aren't necessarily going to sit there in the supermarket and be like, actually, if I buy this shower gel, I'm going to get it for 5p less per milliliter, so I should buy it. People might not always look to calculate things, especially in the spur of the moment. They might not realize that a 20% discount might be better than, the 1/3 extra that you get because of the calculations that they've done. Another one is habit. So certain consumers habitually buy certain things, and this is notorious for people that smoke, for example. So even though they have a certain pack of cigarettes or something that they smoke, they will habitually stick to that pack of cigarettes. Or if they buy a certain type of pasta and they like it, they will stick with that type of pasta, even though there might be a cheaper alternative or there might be a higher quality alternative somewhere else. And the last one is influence. So this plays quite a big role into why consumers do not necessarily maximize their benefit. For example, a phone. If consumers are influenced by their friends or family or their peers to be like, you have to get a certain brand phone, that might not be the best way to maximize their benefit, because they might be paying a large amount for a phone that has fewer features compared to what is available on the market. But they feel the pressure to keep up with the social norms and expectations, which is why they may not always maximize their profit. And if we were to look at the producers, well, they may have things like, management problems. So they are not great at delegating work, or they have different objectives. The managers and the owners might have different objectives which clash. The workers and the owners may have different objectives. So for example, a worker would look to get as high a salary as possible. But for a company, a higher salary means an increased cost. And if you have an increased cost, you're going to have lower profit. But at the same time, you can't just pay your workers pence, because they will just leave and go somewhere else, and you will have no company left. Like we spoke about, you could have other objectives. So things like survival, growth, corporate social responsibility, so helping the community and things like that as well. You can also get certain businesses that are charities. They don't look to maximize profit. They look to maximize their help to the community, or humanitarian or developmental milestones would be their targets. So helping children or mothers, or getting money from donations and things like that as well. But they don't look to maximize profit. And with this, you have already some flaws in the basic economic problems. But if we use these economic assumptions to form the basis of economics, it gives us a very good foundation which then we can build theories upon. And with this, we can get into the mindset of the consumer or of the producer, which is actually, goes into behavioral economics, especially with nudge behavior and things like herd behavior as well, which is why people may make certain choices. But really, the three key economic assumptions of rationality, maximizing benefit, and maximizing profit are what a lot of the theories that you learn will be based upon.